Hi, Robbie here from Arsenal Fan TV, and wanted to talk this morning about this guy. Here's the newspaper headlines. This one's from The Sun. Wilshere cop quiz over 3 a.m. brawl. This is funny actually. And this is the Daily Mirror. England, Wilshere in 2 a.m. bus stop. So somebody's got their times wrong. One says 3 a.m., one says 2 a.m. But you know what? It don't look good. Front page of the paper, not on the back page. They're talking about Leicester actual football. Front page of The Sun, front page of The Mirror, two of the biggest newspapers in the UK about Jack Wilshere. Apparently, he was out at the Café de Paris nightclub in the West End of London, got into an altercation with some guys, him, his group, and this other group of fans. It kicked off, and he was asked to leave by the security. It's alleged that Jack threw a punch at one of these other guys in the group, which has all been denied. The club's denied it. Police were called. The police didn't arrest anybody, but there was this picture that shows Jack Wilshere trying to hide away, obviously for obvious reasons. You don't want to get his picture all over the place, behind some dustbins in the alley behind the actual club. And I mean, it just looks terrible. I mean, if you go into here, this is the thing about nowadays, where you have to be so careful as these guys, all over the papers. You know, page 5, Jack of clubs, it says, and goes into it, you know, about how he was out there at 3 a.m. in the morning, and you know, how this might affect his career. And then here again in the Mirror, page 2, you know, all over this paper. Look at this. Jack's bin trouble. I mean, it's really, really embarrassing for Jack Wilshere. It's really, really embarrassing for Arsenal Football Club. I don't know what to think of this. We've got to remember this, right? Jack Wilshere has been out for a very long time. I know a lot of people are really, really heavily criticising him at the moment. And listen, you can't, as a professional footballer, you know nowadays how many cameras are out there, just on people's phones. I mean, even me, I've had stuff taken of me and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realise, you know, I said that, or I didn't realise I was in that situation, because there's so many cameras around nowadays on phones that people can capture anything you do. You know, you can say a throwaway comment and you can be made to look really stupid. But Jack, people are going to ask the question, why are you're injured? You're out till 3 a.m. in the morning. It's so unprofessional. Also with Jack, you know, this is not the first time. We've had incidents before with Jack smoking, incidents of him, you know, getting into bother with people. But I don't know, I'm going to defend him a bit here, right? Listen, the guy's been out for a very long time. He's a young guy, right? He's not out because he wants to be out. He must be frustrated as hell. He's got to let off a bit of steam by, you know, he can go out to a club and stuff like that. Listen, but you've got to make sure when you go out there that you keep your head down and you don't get involved in these sort of things. Now, I would have presumed that he would have been in the VIP area at Café de Paris. I've actually been to that club, actually been in that VIP area, as a matter of fact, with some mates one time. And it is sort of cut away from the rest of the club. So I don't know how this has really happened, whether it was him leaving or whatever. But I just think that, you know, it's really unfortunate. These guys are young guys. I mean, what's Jack, 22, 23 years of age? What was I doing at 23? If there was cameras around, oh my God. And you know what, every time I meet some of these Premier League footballers, I've been lucky enough to meet some of the Arsenal players, like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and people like that. And the first thing that always strikes me is how young they are. I mean, I look at them, I'm like, he's a kid, you know? And we put so much responsibility on their shoulders, not just on the pitch, off the pitch. But this looks bad for Jack. I think what he needs to do now, he needs to get back into training, into full fitness, and just get on that pitch and start expressing himself. The papers love a Jack Wilshere story. As I said, this is front page of the paper, front page of the newspaper, and it just looks really, really bad. You know, Arsene Wenger He's not going to be happy. You know, he likes discipline amongst players. He doesn't like players being out and about all the time, and he'll be very, very angry by this story. And I mean, even going through some of the comments on it. I mean, I read here that Gunners legend Terry Neal said, "I can't understand why young players who have so much cannot behave. Jack is an immense talent who has been unfortunate with injuries, and it's a delicate time for him. People may say he's letting off steam, but he should let off steam by playing. But he's got to let off steam. And plus as well, you know what, I respect Terry Neal is an Arsenal legend, but come on, Terry. It's not just young players of today. Remember back in the day, I think if there would have been camera phones and stuff like that around in the days when Tony Adams and Paul Merson and guys like that were out and about, you know, imagine a camera phone being out and about when George Best and guys like that were playing, which were all guys from that era. Gaza, you know, come on, this is not a new problem. If anything, the guys nowadays are a lot more disciplined. But this doesn't look good for Jack. As I said, pictures being photographed of him being held back and stuff like this. Jack, get back on the pitch. Forget all the smoking. Forget all the rubbish. Get back on the pitch and do the business. You're a talented player. We need you at Arsenal. We need you playing for England. Get back and do what you do best. Put all this behind you. It'll be over in a couple of days, this sort of news. But we need you to be disciplined, Jack. You know what I mean? And listen, nobody knows what's happened with this story. Police were called. No arrests were made. The club have said that, listen, it's much to do about nothing. It's a nothing incident. It's all done, dusted. But Jack, get back on track.
Who are the 10 best players ever to play for Arsenal Football Club? Tough, innit? Here's my 10.